This last video is not going to really help with your homework, but I do hope that it helps you get an idea of just how flexible both UVs and textures can be in 3D environments. And they're just tools that let you mishmash things around. And I assure you that there's new frontiers of techniques and pipelines to be invented, and you should feel like you can go explore those. So I wanted to show you an interesting way that UVs can be used with displacement maps. And so it showed some of you guys this late after class. And first off, this is just in Blender. You can do the same thing in Maya. I don't know exactly how, but you can definitely do it. First off, I'm adding a subdivision surface. It's just like the sort of proxy view of Maya, and I'm setting it really, really high. So you can see there's lots and lots of birds. And this is just a really basic cube. Now I'm going to extrude individual faces. Individual faces that move. Just to start getting an interesting shape. And sorry, I'm used to all my Maya hotkeys right now. And I am being just totally abstract right now. Maybe something like this and this. Alright, that's good enough. Doesn't really matter. Next off, we're going to create our displacement texture. Now, displacement is a type of texture that is designed to move polygons up and down in space. So if I have this map, I'm going to set this to exactly 50% gray. And what that'll mean is nothing is moving up or down. When I assign this map, I actually can assign it right now using a displacement modifier to displace. This displacement modifier, you'll notice, immediately starts pushing these faces out in some direction. You can set the strength. I'm just going to go to preview mode of 3 for now. And you can also set where the mid-level is. So if it's at 0.5, that 0.5 gray is going to be the mid-level. And oftentimes for displacement you use 32-bit floating point, because otherwise you're limited to the up and down of 0 to 1 black in pixel space, which is not as much. So you might want something that moves more specifically. But anyways, I'm getting out of myself. I'm going to set the direction of this. I'm going to create a texture and set it to UVs. And now we can go to our texture panel. There's the displacement modifier that we're working on. And now we have to save this texture out. First off, I'm going to use a very specific brush, because what I want is specific pixels that go up and down. I don't want any gray or fading out areas. So I'm going to use these square brushes. I can hit F5 to bring up my brush presets, and I'll space these more. I'll turn on scattering, and I'm also going to turn on size jitter, just set to off. And so now I can paint with some black cubes, some gray cubes. Just try and get something abstract. But the point is, it'll look slightly it's going to look at these very hard pixels and see that as up and down values rather than trying to transition. So I'll save this just to my desktop as, I don't know, a ping and save it. So now over here, I'm going to select that as our texture input. And you'll notice it goes crazy. But if we go down here, I'm going to reduce the strength to 0.1. And we have this set to UV. Dangerous to record right now. Let's set it to 7. But now I just have to set my UVs. So if I select all these and I hit U to bring up Blender's UV unwrapping and I just go to reset, all of these are going to go from 0 to 1 in my UV editor. Now I can just select any given face and while looking at the displacement map, I'll shrink them down and start to get pretty cool sci-fi stuff very, very fast. Look at that. Now because those pixels are so precise and these faces are exactly precise, there's very few places where it's creating weird transitions. I can even make this more strict if I wanted. And I can do creative things like I'll select this edge ring of faces and scale them on the x-axis to 0. Why not? So now, because they're scaled to the x-axis, they have an identical amount of stuff. The point is, this is just an example of the really strange things you can do with UVs and textures. And it's important to be trying to be inventive and stuff. So I hope this was fun.